There is true power in the magic of believing, and your whole reality depends on whether you say, I will believe it when I see it, or I will see it when I believe it.
Hi, MrAI here. Another lesson in AI and ChatGPT-4. Going to do quite a complicated one this time because it's to do with patent applications. Most of you are probably not really into it or may never be into it, but you'll learn at least how incredible AI is from it. So let's just start with a simple beginning. So ChatGPT-4, we're going to write an American USA patent application together. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Let's work on it together. What details would you like to start with?
Okay, so the patent pertains to the fact that a lot of creatives out there use extortion, for example, against clients. So this is to prevent this. By way of example, we're going to use website production and video shooting and post-production. We'll also actually use a deposit system, for example, in some future electronic renting of property system. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. We can structure the patent to cover mechanisms that protect clients from extortion in creative fields like website production and video work, as well as in systems involving deposits like future property renting platforms. How would you like to proceed with the details?
So what we're going to have is, if someone, for example, begins a project to produce websites, normally it will be in stages, so you'll pay at different stages. And what might happen is that the person who's building it, who owns the power at this stage because they have the credentials, can use this to blackmail the person who's paying. So we'll have some kind of SQ system. We might use blockchain, but it need not be, so we don't want to make the patent too narrow. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. We can outline a system where the control over project stages and credentials is balanced to prevent any party from exploiting their position. We can keep the description flexible to allow for different technologies like blockchain without limiting the invention. How would you like to frame the next part?
What I suggest also is, if it's for videography, it's the same system really, where someone may film some video content and then have the job to do post-production. And sometimes what they do is they say that it's actually going to be more expensive per post-production than as per quotation, which is obviously both morally and legally reprehensible. So the way around this is, well, for a start, we should create automatic service level agreements within this system, but also each time a deposit is paid, it's not to be touched by either party, but the person paying obviously will only give the money over once they are satisfied. How that would manifest is, for example, if it's the one with the web build, then the credentials at the stage that it's been built to shall be put into either, for example, the G drive of the person paying, or the system itself may have a space for this. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. We can structure the patent to cover how deposits are securely held and only released when the client is satisfied, along with the automatic service level agreements to enforce fair practices. The system will also ensure that progress, like web credentials or video files, is securely stored and shared according to agreed milestones. Would you like to explore any specific features or details next?
Yeah, we need to also look at the deposit system for renting. It'd be a similar system. What we would have in all these cases is AI doing an assessment of the information provided by both parties, and in most cases that should give a satisfactory outcome. If both parties at this stage no longer agree with the outcome from the company that's acting as an arbitration system effectively, then it will go to a human person within the company to arbitrate. If there's still no satisfaction, then of course there is a right to litigate amongst each other. So never at any time will the arbitration system be an agent of either parties. It's literally trying to act in a neutral capacity, and if one or other of the parties does not like the outcome, they still have a right to pursue it. Does that make sense too?
I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing...
So anyway, I'm going to get it to do the actual full patent application based on that, which you'll be able to probably see once it's been filed, because obviously the next step is that it will create a whole patent application, and that's proprietary at this stage because it will be covered by copyright. But if this goes out before the filing, then it's important to keep it confidential. But you can see now what it's going to do is it's going to create the whole patent draft.